My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to explore the energies of lust for living. That's right. We're going to turn that lust up and turn it, or maybe we have to turn it on, and then we're going to turn it up and look at like the value of having a lust for living in your day-to-day, not just when you're on vacation, not just when you have something exciting to look forward to, but imagine living every day from that lust for a living. So what is lust for a living? It's different for everyone. It's going to show up differently for everyone. So you can look out into the world and you can kind of see who are those people that just seem to be like lusting for life. They want to get the most out of life. They're like almost on that continuous hunt for things that would bring more joy, more expansion, more possibility into their life. They're lusting for it, just like you would lust for a person. Or you would like have that like lust for a type of food, that really like lustful energy. So what is that for you? You can look at other people that have that, but we're going to go curiously into your own universe so you can discover, well, how does that show up for you? Because it could be totally different. What are the things in your life right now that you have a lot of lust for? So for me, when I first started to learn about access consciousness, which I talk a lot about in this show, and consciousness itself, the world of energy, I just couldn't get enough of the content. I was like lustful. I wanted to listen to every call I could get my hands on. I was asking questions. I was playing with all this stuff. And it was like in this insatiable, like hunger and lust for more of it in my life. And with that, there was just this sense of like a growing receiving that I had for it. For other people, I see that in music for them. They have a lust for like new music in their life, inspiring music, the oldies, the classics, going to concerts, live music. It's kind of this thing that fuels their joy for living, and they just can't get enough of it. They're just like more. Other people, it's, it could be like luxury. It could be shopping. It could be sports. It could be travel. What is that for you that ignites that sense of lust for living? That's what we're going to get curious about right now. And just kind of, that's the first step to getting clear on like, what is lust for living for you? When you can kind of connect to times where you've had this, then you can kind of see it in different areas of your life, right? So it can be like, when maybe you like meet someone that's really exciting or that just really ignites like a creative spark in your world, makes you like excited about life again. You can meet those people that are really those like muses, they have that muse energy that ignites a joy, vibrancy, and enthusiasm for life. So what if you could actually have that in all the areas of your life? And what if you didn't require someone to ignite it, but you could allow someone to ignite it? You can ask consciousness, the universe, or whatever it is that you speak to, that you resonate with, to actually send that to you, to send the energies of igniting lust for a living to you, right? Because wouldn't it be nice to have that in all areas of your life? So I'm really been looking at this for me. I think especially during my teenage years, like a lot of my lust for living just died. And then I would get it in some ways. I would get it for like, I would have it for weekend adventures with my friends. Socializing was a huge part of my life. And so I had it there, and then kind of lost it when I went into adulting, and then gained it back again, and then found access consciousness. And then life has a way sometimes, well, maybe not life, this reality has a way sometimes of kind of fizzling you out, of getting you caught in the rat race of life and living. And then you forget to have that lust for living in everything that you do, in your business, in your relationships, in your with your body, with your creations, with your parenting. When you have your newborn baby, you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't get enough of this baby. And then after a while of sleepless nights and all this stuff, you're like, can someone take this child? Just me? No, just kidding. And that doesn't mean that you don't have a lust for living. But where can you invite lust for living? In the places where you fizzled out, where that fire has turned to coals, or maybe it's gone completely out. I know a lot of people, their sex lives in their marriages have lost that lust for living. It's, fizzled out or completely burnt out. And imagine you could actually reignite it, not to where it used to be, but something even greater, something even more powerful, something even more expansive. When you first have a body, like people, like you see a baby come in, and a baby like is so excited to have a body. It's like, oh my God, I have a hand. Oh my God, like, what can I do with this? And when they learn to walk for the first time, it's like, oh my God, I can walk, and I want to show everyone I can walk, and I can do this. I can do this. And now we're like, oh my God, I have to walk all the way over there. We've lost that lust for embodiment, that lust for relationships, that lust for, maybe you get a new job and you have all this like lust for it, and then that fizzles out, right? And it becomes this thing you have to maintain, and this thing that you have to go to, and you feel trapped. Where are the places where your lust for living has totally fizzled out? And just kind of take a moment here and acknowledge it. It's not wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. And even if people are making you wrong for it, partners do that often. Like, you used to be this way, used to be that way. An employer maybe is making you wrong. Your kids are making you wrong, whatever it is. Just let's strain and create all that wrongness, melt it away, let it go. It's not about making yourself wrong. It's about actually getting clear on this so that you have more choices available. So one more time, where are the areas in your life that you lack a lust for living? Maybe there are areas you've never had a lust for living. That's okay. You might want to write it down. You might want to just be with it for a minute. And now, what can you start to invite into your life right away that would ignite a lust for living? An uncontrolled lust for living in all those areas. Now, some of you, especially the control freaks, are probably like, I don't know if I want a lust for living in this area. Like, what does that even mean? What would that look like? Especially if you've not experienced that. Maybe you've always looked at career or jobs as just this means to make money, and you've never had a lust for a living, and you can't even comprehend what would that be like, well, what would that be like? What would it be like to have a lust for living in your career? What would that be like for you? So we can see it for other people. We could see it characters in shows and movies, right? Like for some of them, they're a workaholic, or for some of them, they're just like so excited every day to get up and create. For some of them, it could show up like it's their top priority. It can show up in a lot of different ways. How does it show up for you? When you're so lustful for something. And I'm sure you felt lust for someone at least one time in your life, right? Even if it was like some beautiful person at the box office, some like fantasy character, that lust, that like pull, that desire. It's actually beyond desire. It's like that enthusiasm for having and receiving. Now imagine having that with these areas in your life that you don't right now have it with. How much would your life change just from that? What would your relationship be like? What would your body be like? What would your business be like, or your job, your career be like? Would your money be like? Oh, lusting for money. That's just so naughty. Don't do that. Don't be naughty. That's like, that's too lustful. And we want to be, like, keep it tame. I'm 100% joking. I don't ever want you to keep it tame. I always would like you to be too much. What if we could be the too muchness that we are and have the joy of living that way, truly, however that shows up, without judgment, without expectation or projection, just truly embracing that energy of ourselves. That enthusiastic too muchness that we are. So what lust for living could you invite for all these areas in your life? And now you might have areas of your life that you already have a sense of lust for living, which is so amazing. And bring those up. Look at those for a minute. Yeah, here's the thing. I am one of those people that even when things are wonderful, even when things are expansive and creative and enlivened, I always know there's more. I always know that I can ask for more. And I always have a lust to ask for more, actually. And that was something that was made really wrong in my life by people in my life. I was really judged for that. I don't know if you've ever heard, like, can't you ever be satisfied? Why are you always, trying to like make something greater, or why are you always asking for more? Because that was me. I was always asking for more, not necessarily from people, but asking for more in life. And that's part of that lust for living. Like, did you stop asking for more? Did you judge yourself, or were you judged for asking for more? And so you had to turn down your lust for living. Because that lust, like, think of that frenzy, right? When you're just like, oh, like you're just so lustful for something or someone, and it's like, it's out of control. And so to control that, if you have that lust for all of living, not just, we're looking at these areas because that's a way to kind of bite-sized, digestible bits for our cognitive world to communicate with. But really, you look at living itself, to have a lust and a joy of living. It's like, I want more. Like you're pulling it in. You have so much like aliveness and enthusiasm and joy for living. And if that was made wrong, if you were told to tone it down or to quiet down or turn it down, then that would go into all these areas of your life and living. You would see it like start to permeate out. So everywhere you've been there and done that, we're going to use the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you're new to the show and you've never heard of Access Consciousness before or the Clearing Statement, please go to theclearingstatement.com where there's a lovely description about this magic tool I'm going to use. I'm not going to go into the description here today, but I am going to use the tool. It's like a magic wand. It's just a set of words that clears energy miraculously. You don't have to understand how it works for it to work. So I ask you to just train and create it. And if you get light, then the clearing statement is right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shores, boys, puppets, and beyond. Noticing that energy shifting right away, like instantly. So everywhere you've been there and done that and shut down and shut off your lust for living, will you just train and create all that? Anything that doesn't allow that, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, puppets, and beyonds. Now, I don't want to get too like far into this or run too many clearings with you, because what I actually want to do is to invite you to 5 days with me on this topic of lust for living. We're going to do this free Ignite event in my Is It by Magic Facebook group. Because why magic? It's like when you have a lust for living, magic can access you in a different way, could actually pour into your life in a different, more easy way. So we're going to play with this topic for 5 days. We're going to do clearings. We're going to do Symphony of Possibility sessions. I'm going to have some little breakout rooms and stuff. And I really want us to kind of deep dive together on this topic of lust for living and really ignite this for ourselves and see what change we can create in the world, really. It's interesting because summer is one of my favorite times of the year. I've always been a summer person, and it's summer here in Canada right now. And I'm noticing, and I realize part of what I love about it is that a lot of people ignite a lust for living in the summer. They're suddenly like making, getting out like in with the earth a priority. They're making it important to go swim and enjoy the beach and like do fun things and relax and take time like just for like living for no reason other than living. Not like I need to entertain the kids or I need to blah, 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 but just like from that joy of living. That's what summer's always been for me. And especially what I'm noticing in Canada right now is people kind of still doing the actions because they're used to it. It's like a reactionary reality. They know they're supposed to respond this way to summer. But the energy of lust for living is like pretty low. Pretty low. And that's okay. And they can choose what they want to choose, but I want to turn it up, and I would love to turn it up with you. I'd love to explore what is possible. When one person lights a match, right? And they have their match and they're like in a dark room, and then someone else like, oh my God, they have their match lit. Like, maybe I should light my match. I like that I could see their face. Like, so they light their match and then someone else lights their match. And then we're all lighting matches. And eventually the room's going to be lit. It's going to be vibrant. It's going to be full of light. It's going to be full of engagement and possibility. So we can be the matches. We can be the ignition. We can light up our own lives. And that will change the world just by you being you. Just by you choosing for you, just by you saying yes to lust for living will create the spark that could be the wildfire of another possibility. Now, you might notice like a lot of kind of things moving and coming up for you through this podcast. Part of you might be kind of excited, and the other part of you might be also sensing like that loss or that sadness, or those places where something occurred, and that's usually where you shut it down or started the shutdown period. So for some people, it's like maybe they lost a loved one, and when that loved one transitioned, their lust for living left their world. It could be for someone else, it could be like a breakup, a divorce. It could be, empty nest. Their kids like grew up and left the house, and they're like, oh my God, it made me they were my source of lust for living, and now they're gone. What if you were your source for lust for living? Okay. Everywhere you've made anything or anyone the source for your lust for living, rather than claiming you as the source for your lust for living, will you destroy and create that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, BOD, all name, choice, voice, quote, with beyonds. And again, this doesn't mean that you don't receive, that you can't receive, other people sparking your lust, but it can always be from you as the source, you as the empowered person. You're the chooser, because really, no matter how enthusiastic someone is around you, if you're not willing to receive it, you usually end up just being really irritated with them and hate them. And then you ask them to shut it down or turn it down. Like maybe you were asked to shut it down or turn it down. Maybe that's why people were so frustrated with you, because you were disturbing their quiet living. So what if you were the source? What if the world around you didn't get to determine your lust for living? What if no matter what was going on in the world, you could still have that? Even if every single person around you is completely and totally depressed, you could be that one match that's lit. What an invitation. What a possibility. What would it be like for you to have such a lust for living in all areas of your life? We went as far as we could here on this podcast, and I'm grateful for you being here and listening. I will put a link in the description below to this free 5-day event coming up. If you can join live, that would be amazing. We're going to be on Zoom, and we're going to be streaming also to the Facebook group, and just contributing to each other, lighting everyone ablaze with so much lust that we all go out of control and like our lives too much. Doesn't sound great? So join us. And thank you for joining me today in the Curious Universe. Explore this question, play with these questions, get curious for yourself about what is lust for living, and really inviting more of those energies, those catalyzing energies, those sparking energies into your life, so you can be out of control, beautifully, lively, enthusiastically out of control, having so much joy and magic in your life. Mwah! I'll see you in the group. Bye for now. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?